Sunday, what a day. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's like a dream come true. It's unbelievable. Yes, and we're going to win. We are going to win, no
Decorated in honor of the 52 U.S. Patriots who have safely returned home today. The Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's 70 degrees outside, it's 70 degrees inside. The Superdome, the scene for Super Bowl 15, the championship of the National Football League. Well over 75,000 fans blessed with tickets to see today whether Oakland or Philadelphia will excel today as pro football champions. Answer to the Mardi Gras, and for the Philadelphia Eagles and the Oakland Raiders, the agony of this long 2-week wait is just about over, Merlin Olsen.
I'm ready. Send me in, Coach. I'm ready to play. It's been hard on us, too. Not only is it tough for these players to wait for 2 weeks, Dick, but this is the toughest town in the NFL to play football in. There's so many distractions that keep you from thinking about football.
We've analyzed the game inside and out, from the bunions of Tony Franklin to the stickum that Lester Hayes uses. Why don't we try to simplify it for fans right now? One example from each side. How does the Oakland Raiders, how do they win today?
They have to do what got them into this game, what they do best, which is to go deep. They have to throw the ball deep. Plunkett needs extra time to do that. Defensively, the Eagles want to deny them the bomb, force them short, force them to be patient with the football.
You are nervous.
I'm nervous. I'm ready.
Jim Plunkett was successful at that. Of his 18 touchdown passes, they averaged 27 yards a throw. The Raiders like to go deep. All right, what do the Eagles have to do to win?
The Eagles are a ball control team. They want to run the football. They control the ball 2 weeks ago against Dallas. They'd like to do that today as well. Now, Oakland on the other side wants to force them to throw the ball so they can get their special defenses in for the passing game and shut them off.
The Raiders, of course, led the NFL in takeaways, and of course they have the interceptor supreme in Lester Hayes, who led the entire NFL. We're pleased to share the microphones today with two great former NFL quarterbacks, one of whom played in the very first Super Bowl. Let's go to Len Dawson and John Brody.
Lenny, all we've heard all week is how the anxieties get into the mind of the players 24 hours before the game, right up until game time. Now, I would like to make judgment on that fact, but since collectively we have 2 Super Bowls between us, I think I'll ask you, what is it and why?
Well, John, have you ever been so nervous that you can't sit, you can't stand, you can't be in one place for any more than 15 or 20 seconds? You cannot sleep at night. When you try to eat, the food stops just about there. You don't dare chew some gum and do something else at the same time. They are nervous right now. They want to get on with this contest. But the reason why is because this is the game. There's a lot of football games, but this is it. Anybody who has ever been involved in athletics has a dream to be known as the very best. They have an opportunity this afternoon to do that, because the team that wins, they will know in their hearts, everybody else will know that they are the very best, and they won't have to explain it to anybody.
Well, the fanfare's about over, and both teams are more than ready to have a go at it. Dick?
All right, John, we'll be looking for your reports during the course of the game. You know, as much as we tell ourselves to be cool about this, you can just hear it in all of our voices. We're up in the emotions prior
prior to that kickoff, I imagine the coaches right now are reminding them no mistakes, and it's going to be easy to fail in that regard.
In an important game like this, you don't want to give anything away easily, and turnovers could be the big difference in this game. The ball drops on the carpet, the wrong end of the field, somebody recovers the fumble, and this is not going to be an easy game to win anyway. You don't want to give it away.
I would think that the Raiders would have the advantage in that regard, and that they have 11 men who have played in the Super Bowl before. They can cool the others. The Eagles don't have a single player who have ever appeared in this game.
Playoff experience is very important, and I think that's a slight edge, but you got to remember that the Eagles are a team that plays almost all their games on artificial turf. They have the edge in that department.
We're about set to introduce the starting lineups. The Eagles and the Raiders will be back in the Superdome right after we pause. Teams take the field, and this long week of festivity for the fans brought to a head, and for the players, they finally find peace. It has to be a great moment for them. They'll finally get their heads away from all the publicity and into a huddle with friends and doing business.
They really won't settle down, Dick, until they get their first hit out there, either on special teams or they can get out and line up, take a snap, take a pop. The butterflies have to just be flying in flocks inside their stomachs right now.
Chris Barr kicks it off for Oakland. Deep to return, Billy Campfield, number 37 of the Philadelphia Eagles. He has with him Harrington and Jamona. Super Bowl 15 underway. Campfield tripped at the 23-yard line. Otis McKinney, number 23 of the Raiders, made the tackle. The Eagles offense. Ron Jaworski is the quarterback. And he'll be guiding Wilbert Montgomery, an outstanding receiver and runner, and fullback Leroy Harris. The receivers, Harold Carmichael, who has the longest string of games with at least one reception in the history of the NFL. Charlie Smith, a broken jaw, playing with a broken jaw. Keith Prefley, the tight end. The blockers, Walters, Perot, Morris, Peoples, and Sizemore. See the yellow strip on the back of the helmets of both teams in honor of our return to the Raiders. When they used the 3-4 configuration, Matuzak, Kinlaw, speedy inside, Dave Browning, light but quick on the outside. Ted Hendricks, a banner year, one of the top NFL defenders. Matt Millen, the rookie, Bob Nelson, and Rod Martin. The deep backs, Lester Hayes, 13 interceptions this year, 5 in the playoffs. Dwayne Osteen at the other corner with Davis and Owens at safety. He'll check his replacement. Carmichael to the near side, Smith to the far side. They'll go with only one back and a double tight end. Spagnola and Prefley bookend the line. Play action. Jaworski intercepted by Rod Martin. Martin at the 40. He is to the Eagle 29-yard line. Martin, who had 2 interceptions during the year, the veteran from Southern California, gets the first break of the game.
One thing you can't afford to do is to give the football away, especially on your own side of the field. Good ball read there, but Jaworski threw into 2 defenders. Martin doing an excellent job. Let's see what happened to Spagnola, who's trying to slide down into a little open space. Good read by the 2 linebackers. He has no chance on that football.
Rod Martin, the man who intercepted that pass that led to the Oakland touchdown, getting some tape work. And they'll measure for first down first before the Eagles make their decision as to whether or not they'll decline the penalty.
Help. One of the...
Third down, 7. Jaworski. Jones in pursuit. Lester Hayes in front of Charlie Smith. And fortunately for the Eagles, Jaworski threw the other side. The mad interceptor had his beat and was looking for his 6th playoff interception.
Ted Hendricks did not figure in the pass rush, but he certainly did disrupt the blocking. Charlie Smith, number 85, told you earlier, he's playing with a broken jaw. Now the responsibility of the receiver when his quarterback is in trouble, come back to the ball. Smith coming across the field, should have been coming toward his quarterback. Jaworski has had a great deal of pressure applied during this game. Of course, one critical mistake forced early. He doesn't want to make another one.
Now, Merlin, the 4-man defensive line for the Raiders, Willie Jones and Cedric Hardman, come in to play the defensive end positions.
We're going to put a clock down at the bottom of the screen to give you an idea of how much time Jaworski will have on this pass.
Carmichael way out to the left. He's buying time and throwing long for Parker. Touchdown! A flag is down. Rodney Parker, a New Orleans native, may have an Eagle touchdown. No motion against Philadelphia. It appeared Carmichael headed upfield before the snap. He was in motion and looked as if he turned just a little too soon.
Carmichael is in motion because he has trouble getting off the line of scrimmage against the bump and run.
Illegal motion, number 17.
And he made a critical mistake. He was not the prime receiver in the pattern. Jaworski scrambling outside, fires it deep. Let's take a look at Carmichael. Now watch the turn he makes just ahead of the snap of the ball. He cannot be going forward. He must be going laterally or away from the ball. Rodney Parker, 83, the man who eventually got free, made an excellent adjustment to the football, caught it under pressure from Burgess Owen, but all for naught.
So another penalty hurts Philadelphia. It's 3rd and 15 instead of tied 7-7. Jaworski to Parker. Knocking it away, Otis McKinney, number 23. So the Eagles, a 5-yard offside penalty on the Raider drive that kept Oakland's chances for a touchdown alive, and they scored. And now they lose one of their own on a motion penalty against Carmichael.
They had a big touchdown called back against them 2 weeks ago. Dallas Cowboys. They're at the
Spagnuolo, let's give credit to a year in the NFL. This is his second season. He caught a couple of balls last year. Going long for Smith. What a play at the last moment by Lester Hayes. It appeared he was beaten until the last step. We've been watching Lester Hayes, the all-pro cornerback. Let's go to John Brody and Len Dawson.
Well, Dick, one of the problems that Philadelphia is facing is how to get off the line of scrimmage against this bump and run defense, particularly Lester Hayes, number 37. He does such an outstanding job when he's up tight. They want to get him off the line of scrimmage. You can see right there that Lester is fouling his man all over. 17, Carmichael. He's on him. It was a running play that time. Also, here's Carmichael going in motion another way to try to avoid being bumped at the line of scrimmage, but so far it has not been working for Philadelphia.
Lester Hayes, who credits his former college teammate at Texas A&M as being his mentor and tutor.
That was their number one priority, John. And we'll have to keep an eye on them, see if they can get it done here before this half is over.
2nd and 6. Montgomery through his hands. Covered by Lester Hayes. We credited Hayes' mentor at Texas A&M, a pretty good one at that. A Pro Bowler, All-Pro Pat Thomas, the cornerback of the Los Angeles Rams. Here he is, covering Wilbert Montgomery.
A pass that has a lot of fire on it, but is thrown and should have been caught right through the arms. Lack of concentration by a man who doesn't normally make that kind of mistakes.
Reminder, in case some of your friends are at work today and want to see the Super Bowl for the first time. Lester Hayes in the Snickum jar. He looks like one of those folks down in the quarter that make pralines. And about 6, outside the 36, Mike Davis wearing testimony to this hard-hitting game. So far today, Philadelphia 1 for 5 in 3rd down conversions. Tuzak almost offside. Carmichael complete at the 40. And he is finally wrapped picked up at the 44 of Oakland. Burgess Owens made the tackle. A 30-yard play. Clock is running. 2:22, 2:21 left in the first half. A big third down throw by Jaworski.
A little scuffling going on downfield. Jaworski almost got the stunning Matuzak offsides. Throws this right through the hands of the defender. Carmichael gets tackled. Great arm tackle there by number 44 Burgess Owens. Otis McGinney and one of the Eagles scuffling downfield, but they got them separated there.
2 minutes left in the first half of Super Bowl 15. Raiders 14, Eagles 3, over 75,000 in this incredible Superdome in New Orleans. Harold Carmichael, the all-time receiver in Eagles history.
Very important for him to have a big day if they're going to be successful offensively. This, of course, the play that was such a big play, pulled him down into Raider territory. Giant target, able to run a 4.7 in its early years, has lost a little speed, but I'm sure that that particular play made that young man very happy.
Young and old, everyone in this stadium is excited. The build-up is incredible. It's an experience if you ever have the opportunity. Fortunate enough, it is a happening, no question.
The Eagles have been able to move the ball. They just have not been able to take advantage of their scoring drives. And one of the things that we've seen, we talked about the pressure on the line of scrimmage. Jaworski has thrown the ball with great pressure on him. It seems as if Plunkett has had time to pick his receivers, and when he didn't have time, has scrambled. Jaworski has yet to scramble effectively in this game.
And two, what would appear to be innocent 5-yard penalties are very critical today. A 5-yard offside penalty that extended Raiders' first chance to score, and they did. And then a penalty against Carmichael cost the Eagles a 40-yard touchdown pass. Rodney Parker and probably Wilbert Montgomery, all receivers. There is no tight end in the lineup for Philadelphia. 2nd down and 8 at the Raider 42. And the Raiders counter with 5 defensive backs. Blitz. Jaworski to Carmichael. And that'll be a first down at the 27 of the Raiders. Philadelphia's not going to call a timeout. 143-142. The Raiders lead 14-3. The Eagles trying to claw their way into the end zone, and they got close at the intermission.
You heard the call at 94, an audible call by Jaworski.
He threw that one away. Stops the clock with 1:20 left. Willie Jones applying pressure on Jaworski. And Jaworski talking with Ben Dreif. I did not see a flag, and there is none. Jaworski from Youngstown State, where he was a side saddle T quarterback. Only Brody and Dawson could appreciate that difficulty.
It's quite possible that what he was angry about was the fact that he was roughed a bit after the play. You see him being snatched around by Willie Jones.
Had he really physically thrown him down, he would have had a cause for anger. 2nd down. Oh, he smothered that time. Lester Hayes came up with a one-hopper. Bob Nelson, 51. He found the trap door in the middle of that line and came through cleanly.
One of the things the Raiders have done effectively all year is stunt from different formations and different positions. Usually it's Hendricks coming. On this occasion, Nelson, 51. And Jaworski is lucky to get that football out of there. Lucky it didn't fall into the hands of the Oakland Raiders.
That's a tough percentage pass when you're wearing a man 230 pounds around your neck like beads.
Pretty tough to throw the football when they're on you in 0.7, 0.8, 0.9, just over 1.5 seconds.
The twos, John Matuzak. He's going to be starring in a movie released later this spring called Caveman. Go get him, twos.
That the Eagles picked up last week against the Dallas Cowboys was picked up on plays exactly like that. Cutting back against the grain, especially out of the I formation. Montgomery cut back that time, but he cut right back into traffic. Fine job by the Oakland defense of flowing with the action and not allowing Montgomery any room to operate.
Raiders are looking pass. And get it. Intercepted by Martin. He was out of bounds when he intercepted the ball. It will count as a turnover. The same man who picked one off to start the game and led Oakland to its first touchdown has another.
When Rod Jaworski came to the Eagles, Dick Vermeil said you must learn to do two things. Not throw as many interceptions and throw a higher percentage of completions. Throw the ball more accurately and learn when not to throw the football. This was an occasion that Jaworski should not have thrown the football.
Yeah, reminds you of the very first Super Bowl game. Max McGee hardly caught a pass all year, had a couple of touchdowns in that first game. Martin had only 2 interceptions all year, 2 today. The former commissioner of the old American Football League, general manager partner of the Oakland Raiders, Al Davis, he's sitting on a comfortable 21-3 lead over the Philadelphia Eagles. And Rod Martin has taken the ball away from Jaworski on his second interception of the day at the Raider 32. And Brody, do you think the Raiders will change their offensive philosophy?
Dick, what they'll do is go to the personality that they enjoy most. They get a lead, they'll go to Mark Van Eegen. You remember he ran out the clock against San Diego when it looked like they'd fought themselves back in the ball game. When they do throw, they'll throw it up the field. They will not fiddle around trying to get it in between linebackers. They're in a perfect position. This situation suits their whole personality.
Definitely with its heels in the hole. Second and 10, Jaworski. Oh, almost caught for a safety. Wide open is Smith. He's got it. First down at the 45 of Oakland. Charlie Smith with that big mask to protect his broken jaw, and Jaworski just did elude Mike Davis, who had designs on a safety.
Clock at the bottom indicating the amount of time Jaworski has. It's a blitz, an all-out blitz. Mike Davis coming from the safety position, jumps and has Jaworski right on the line. But Jaworski plays it cool, takes all the time he has, and rifles a perfect shot. Had he been able to get that one a little bit further, if Charlie Smith had caught that in full stride, he may have gone all the way.
Well, let's see if that's the play that gets it. It's in 3 seconds left. The Eagles need the ball and need to score just about every time.
Defense number 37 was lined up in the neutral zone. 37.
You talk about playing your man tight. Lester Hayes was the man offside.
Lester's inside. He's on the other side of the line to bump and run him.
Look at that stick-em. He's got it everywhere. Helmet, the back of his pants, his ankles.
Quarterbacks love him. They get that ball back, it sticks to their hand. We talked about the fact that the Oakland Raiders have started to go more and more to the right side of their line. But they still love to go back to their veterans. Shaw and...
You saw Lester Hayes a moment ago on the sidelines being taped. I want to say something about Lester while we have a moment. Hayes has a speech problem. At times stutters, and it's been a very difficult thing for him. And he was misunderstood. Some thought that because of that problem he was quiet, he was cocky, maybe too confident, unfriendly, and he's had to show his talent, his ability on the field of play, and how well he's expressed himself. And I know Lester in the offseason now is going to be working on that speech impediment. We have to admire his talent. Dick Vermeil, time running out, and some of the Eagle fans are nervous. They want Philadelphia to get the ball in the air.
Here it goes.
Complete. At the 40, that'll be a first down. Lester Hayes made the tackle on Charlie Smith. 17-yard play.
One thing for certain, the Oakland Raiders lined up expecting the pass. You see the signals being made from the sideline. Vermeil trying to get Wilbert Montgomery quickly to the sideline.
Of course, the fact is, Merlin, that if you misfire on a pass, at least, unless it's intercepted, it stops the clock. You misfire on a run, and you've wasted another half minute.
Well, obviously, the clock is their worst enemy now. They need quick scores, not just touchdowns, but quick touchdowns.
2nd and 11. Fumble, and that's going to about do it. The Raiders have recovered. Willie Jones has the football. And now the Raiders start to celebrate. The fans know that this one's going to belong to them with 5.5 left. Another mistake by Philadelphia.
I can't help but reflect on that picture of frustration that we saw moments ago. Jaworski looking to the sideline, angry at not getting the signal. Vermeil angry at not being able to get the help he needs. And then a crucial mistake.
Haste makes waste. 5:30 left. It's Oakland in front by 17. Kind of the happiness that you can share with a winning team, and also the ambivalent feelings. Kind of sad to say goodbye for another year. It's been an outstanding season. We thank everyone for their incredibly fine support. Jaworski, intercepted. Rod Martin, can you believe it? 3 interceptions today, and the Raiders have it back. And if Plunkett's the offensive star, the defensive star is Rod Martin. He's got the hat trick.
Only 12 interceptions in the entire 16-game season for Ron Jaworski. And he has been hammered by the secondary of the Oakland Raiders today.
Rod Martin, he started things for the Raiders, and now he's trying to wrap it up. That will be a Super Bowl record, and how appropriate. 3 interceptions for Martin, 2:50 left. It's academic. The Raiders are about to win Super Bowl 15. Reminder that Brian Gumbel and NFL 80 will be down in the winner's locker room. Rod Martin must have some nice things to say, and we'll wonder what Al Davis's comments will be when he receives the trophy. Called by the Philadelphia Eagles. That face says it all. The record is most attempts, not the 3 interceptions. You'll remember Rod Martin's name. Jim Plunkett on the other hand. The Raiders not showing much emotion, but that's really to be expected. This is an incredible group.
Being around their practice, and people say, how can you fit in with them? They're bandits. They're the bad guys. They're really not. They're a group of very nice people. They love to court the image of bandits. They wear the black. They wear that Raider badge proudly. But they handle things from within. They take care of each other. They have fine leadership, veteran leadership on their team. Tom Flores certainly has not received the kind of credit he deserves for his role in what these Raiders have done this year. But that man right there has had quite a bit to do with it, too. Al Davis.
And you have to be happy with that man, what's happening inside him, Tom Flores. What a story. You talk about Cinderella stories. Chicano worked 6-7 years old in the fields, became a fine athlete, on to Pacific, then a fine pro career, and now maybe the most important moment in his life. We'll find that out as well from Brian at the postgame show. Dennis Harrison again meets Mark Van Eegen, and again the Eagles call timeout their last of the game. I don't know if miracles that big can fit inside the Superdome, but that's all Philadelphia can hope for now, and they'll have the 2-minute timeout. No, there wasn't a timeout call. They're running the clock now. We're televising this game all over the world, and there's from the Republic of Mexico. Welcome, gentlemen, to New Orleans. Of course, there's so many telecasts going around the world, including this one. Van Eegen has what appears to be a first down, and if so, that should just about wrap it up. 2-minute warning is given. 2 minutes left. Super Bowl 15. Time to the Raiders. And has a bad taste for the Eagles. 2 minutes to left. It won't be remembered as one of the great Super Bowls, but it will be one we'll look back on as the long shot on the board, winning it all. and the first team to ever win 4 games in the Super Bowl in the playoffs. The Raiders start to enjoy. 2 minutes to go. Some of the Raiders have already gone to the locker room. On first down, Derek Jensen stays in bounds, and the clock will run unless the Eagles spend their final timeout. We showed you the contingent from Mexico televising the game back to their country. The other foreign broadcasters here, Australia to England, Japan with their own crew, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, West Germany, and of course on American Forces Television around the world, this telecast is being shown. 1:20 left. Jensen to the 20-yard line. Derek Jensen from the University of Texas, Arlington. Well, for Philadelphia, the Phillies won the World Series. 76ers lost in the finals of the NBA to the Lakers. The Flyers lost in the Stanley Cup Finals to the New York Islanders. And the Eagles will lose today in the Super Bowl. But what a year for the city of brotherly love. And, of course, that'll be the site of the NCAA basketball championships. And you'll see that here on NBC in March. That's how much money the Raiders will win. Actually, more than the Eagles had. They won because they got $3,000 for that first wild card game. $35,000, a nice little bonus for the Raiders. 40 seconds left. Jensen with a first down. And I don't believe the Raiders will have to run another play. We want to thank Dennis Mnuchin and Bruce Jolish, our player identification personnel, Steve Vance, Jimmy Burns, statistician Joe Costanza, NBC's Director Ted Nathanson, our executive producer Don Olmeyer, producers Larry Cirillo, George Finkel, all the engineers and cameramen. 15 cameras here. The final seconds tick away. Jim Plunkett leads the Oakland Raiders to Super Bowl 15 victory, and Plunkett is announced as the most valuable player. The final score: Oakland 27, Philadelphia 10. Ted Hendricks, one of his greatest seasons. The free spirit of the Raiders. And Jim Plunkett, a man who almost quit. He seriously considered giving it up. Talked into staying by Al Davis, and Jim Plunkett takes such a wonderful bow. Most valuable player. Joe Campbell, he left New Orleans. Talk about an escape. The Saints won 1. He has a Super Bowl ring.
There's no way that anyone can deny the Raiders took this one the hard way. They fought the long road against all the odds. An underdog in each of the games they played. The cold field and the icy field in Cleveland. Everyone said they can't win up there. They went to San Diego, took a victory there, and then they came here and won this final game, this Super Bowl 15.
Only after starting in the wild card game against Houston and winning at home as an underdog. So this country for so many years has been known to cheer for the underdog. For many it was tough to root for Oakland, and they liked that role. The underdogs have prevailed. About Jim Plunkett's mother. His father is deceased. His mother has been blind since 20 years of age. And listen to this game today. The courage she gave this young man. A lot of lovely stories. Plunkett joins his teammates. The Raiders have won Super Bowl 15, and we'll talk to the winners in just a moment. The locker room here at the Louisiana Superdome of the Super Bowl 15 champion Oakland Raiders. Dwayne Osteen blowing kisses to his friends and family back in California. You know, Merle, it's interesting. There have been a lot of... Oh, here comes Tom Flores. Let's eavesdrop.
Hold it! Hold it!
All right, take it.
We were the best team. We deserve to be world champions. Baby, I'm proud of you. Put it on. Let's go.
No long speech is expected from Tom Flores as he thanks his team for this victory, commends them. And we're going to hear from the players themselves. We'll have highlights of this game, and of course the trophy presentation as Commissioner Rozelle will present that to owner Al Davis as we return to the Louisiana Superdome for our post-game show after these messages from your local station.
We are inside a very jubilant Oakland Raider dressing room with a very happy coach, Tom Flores, and a bunch of Raiders who were quick to grab their cameras because they want to watch the awarding of the trophy for the first time in 4 years to the Oakland Raiders. On the other side of the coin, the Philadelphia Eagles locker room, after a great season, well, it has ended in defeat. They've gone down 2 defeats to the Oakland Raiders. Final count 27-10. Dick Vermeil there was his troops, but certainly the 5-year plan worked in his mind. He just fell 1 game short. They are a team certain to be back. But back to the moment at hand, and that is Tom Flores. This is getting to be a habit, me standing on a victory stand with you and saying congratulations.
Well, I love it. Thank you, Brian. I love it very much. This is the greatest moment of my life. It's just, I'm very proud of this bunch of guys.
You know, we were a little bit surprised at how wide open you came into this game, and you challenged the Philadelphia defense right off. I know in your first 3rd and 3 situation, you ran at them, and that was one thing you weren't supposed to be able to do.
That's right. We weren't gonna pull any horns back. We were gonna go with a big play. We were gonna go after them within the realm of our game plan, and it just worked out fine.
Tom, Jim Plunkett winds up the MVP of this game. We all know just what he's done. He's 13-2 as a starter. But let me ask you very honestly, when Dante went down at 2-3 after 5 weeks, did you think this could be possible?
I didn't know if this could be possible. I knew we could win with Jim. I felt we could win with Jim because he was a fine quarterback, and we had a lot of confidence in him. I didn't know that it would come this far because that was right. We only had played 5 games. But once we got into the playoffs, I knew we were as good as any team in the playoffs, and we had a chance.
We are eagerly awaiting, we might add, the arrival of Al Davis for the trophy presentation. Commissioner Pete Rozelle is standing right by us, but we're waiting to see when Al arrives. Let me ask you something. Now, everybody is waiting to see what happens up here with Al and Pete. Was that whole affair a distraction, Tom?
Never was. Never was a distraction. Al would never let it be a distraction. His main purpose was for us to win, prepare to win, and anything else was secondary. He would take care of that in his own time.
Did the team share that sentiment?
The team did. The team never talked about anything but playing football and winning. That was the only thing.
How would you characterize the attitude of this team?
This is a very together team and a very courageous bunch of guys. They refused to believe that they could do anything but win.
Hold on 1 second. It's not that I don't enjoy your company. I just want to ask Al Locosal, who's Al Davis' assistant. Is Al showing? There he is. Okay, we're awaiting the arrival of Al Davis. The amazing scene in here is that a number of players have donned cameras because they want to see this moment also. Al is coming with his fists raised in the air. You can hear it. Al Davis, congratulations. Congratulations, Al. Outstanding. Commissioner Pete Rozelle, I know you've got a presentation to do.
Jesus, I wanted it.
Al, the Raiders became, of course, the first wild card to win the Super Bowl. I think it's a tremendous compliment to the organization because you had to win 4 postseason games. Today, of course, was the big one, the Super Bowl. I think it's a great credit to you for putting this team together. I think that Tom Flores clearly did one of the great coaching jobs in recent years, all season and particularly today. And it's a credit to some marvelous, dedicated athletes, especially Jim Plunkett and that offensive line today.
All right.
You've earned it. Congratulations.
Al?
Thanks very much.
Al, you finally got the mic.
Thanks very much, Commissioner. You know, when you look back at the years of glory of the Oakland Raiders, but this was our finest hour. This was the finest hour in the history of the Oakland Raiders. To Tom Flores, the coaches, and the great athletes, you were magnificent out there today. You really were. The years will go on. We owe a great tribute to all our alumni all over the country, the great fans, and we want to welcome back the hostages to the United States. And take pride and be proud. Your commitment to excellence and your will to win will endure forever. You were magnificent.
Al, congratulations. Is this one any sweeter than the one 4 years ago?
Well, this has been the sweetest because it's our finest hour, and I'm just so proud of everyone here. Just a great staff. Just great coaching.
I've got to ask you, can it be displayed as proudly in Oakland as Los Angeles?
Oh, I don't want to get into that, Bryant, now. I don't think that anyone should ever take away from the great game and the great achievement of our players.
Al, congratulations again.
Thank you very much. I wish Ed McGaw would here. He's coming down right now. He's my general partner and just a super guy, and we're all so proud of this great trophy once again. Hi, Captain Gene.
Thank you, Al. Commissioner, as you suggested, it was possible to separate the two Pete Rozells, the two Al Davises. There was no feud up here.
All you can do is compliment this club for what they've done this year, and as I pointed out, they really did it the hard way.
Pete, congratulations on a tremendous 61st NFL season.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to step aside for just a moment. When we come back, we're going to grab Big Gene Upshaw, and we'll do a couple of other things right after this. The story of Oakland's 27-10 win over the Eagles is a story of defense. And Lester Hayes, they wanted to go at you. They wanted to prove they could beat you, and they really didn't.
Like we just saying, it's like our whole scheme was to try to. It's like we to stop her from Michael. Just saying like we held him in check and just saying like. Just like it was a super day for us, and just saying like this guy over here just saying like he was just saying like it was super day, just saying like because of the fact.
I was about to say you're the master thief, but he stole the spotlight. Rod Martin, I know you never had a better game at SC. Did you ever have one any time?
No, I haven't. First of all, I'd like to thank God for giving me the ability, and my teammates for winning this game, and God bless the hostages from being back.
Praise the Lord. Two of the men who made life very, very tough with Mr. Ron Jaworski. Let's go back over to the Eagle locker room, Mike Adamley.
January the 25th, 1981. America welcomes home 52 of its bravest amid the color and excitement of Super Bowl 50.
Super Sunday, what a day. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's like a dream come true. It's unbelievable. Yes, and we're going to win. We are going to win, no question.
Confident champions of the American Football Conference, the Oakland Raiders danced into this prestigious ball wearing glass slippers. If ever there was a Cinderella champion, it was these men in silver and black. Their quarterback, Jim Plunkett, had salvaged a wrecked career to become the NFL's comeback player of the year. And in only his second season, head coach Tom Flores directed a team with 14 new players through the wild card playoffs and into the Super Bowl. Shrewdly built by owner Al Davis, Oakland reflected the cool professional attitude of a team accustomed to meaningful games. This was all new to the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles, since Dick Vermeil had molded a winner out of a former loser. Because their personality mirrored his discipline and determination, these Eagles were often given more credit for being hard workers than good football players. However, in November, these tough Eagles had beaten the Raiders 10-7, mainly by sacking Jim Plunkett 8 times. It was here, in one of the season's most physical encounters, the initial battle lines were drawn for Super Bowl 15.
Well, I learned that from getting close to Jaworski and knocking him down a couple times that he wears English leather Jerry Sizemore wears Aramis. And that guy, Pete Perot, that second-year guy from Southwest Louisiana, he doesn't wear any cologne. He doesn't even use deodorant, I don't think.
Super Bowl 15 featured the most striking contrast in opponents since Darth Vader first crossed lasers with Luke Skywalker.
Here we go! Speed! Yo, Frank! We are dog fight now, man. What do you say? Come on!
Hey, guys, we only have 60 minutes to get it done, so no sense in waste. Start on the first play and give it everything you got on every snap, huh? Good luck to all of you, huh? Here we go.
And Super Bowl 15 is upon us.
First down.
On the game's third play, Dick Vermeil called
Double base pass 46-47, check with me.
for Vermeil and his coaching staff in the press box above. It proved to be a play-action pass that they immediately regretted.
Play fake. Back is Jaworski with time to throw.
He's got Spag.
Drills one. Intercepted. Rod Martin.
Oh, run. No. Throw it right to him.
Hey, went cover 6 and the linebacker came off.
Rod Martin, who was once cut by the Raiders, made the first big takeaway of the game from his outside linebacker position. Instead of lofting the ball over Martin, Jaworski fired hard and low, aiming for a seam in the Raiders' zone that turned out to be a mirage. Martin's interception proved to be a harbinger of bad times for the year.
Coach, we got plenty of time and we're moving the ball well. Just we've given them a couple things. We just keep our heads and everything is fine as far as the game plan. Nothing mattered at all.
But not all was well with the Eagle game plan. Oakland's nose guard Reggie Kinlaw, number 62, was personally shutting down Philadelphia's prize running attack.
Where the hell did the nose guard coming from? Kinlaw's been paying her so far.
Kinlaw proved to be one persistent lighthouse around which the storming chaos of the Raider defense revolved. Pursuit by Kinlaw and the Oakland linebackers completely took away the cutback running of Wilbert Montgomery and left the Eagles with only 69 yards rushing on the day. Unable to go through the Raiders' defense, Philadelphia was forced to go over it.
Go, baby!
Midway through the second period, a series of Jaworski completions set up Philadelphia's first points of the day, a 30-yard field goal by Tony Franklin. At last, the Eagles had reason to hope.
They're playing like we would like them to play to beat them. They really are, coverage-wise and everything else.
Yeah.
We'll get these guys. The big thing is we're all look a little bit tight, and they look exhausted already because of nerves, and we got to get them to relax a little bit.
Here's Franklin advancing on the football.
Up to this point, Philadelphia had seemed tense, even apprehensive.
Moody back takes it on the 1-yard line. Out to the 5, the 10, straight ahead 15. He has hit a ton, fumbles, followed on by Rod Martin. The Raiders have it. What a belt that time. Now the Raiders get the football after a tremendous lick.
Ron Baker's hit was nearly the jolt the Eagles needed. But as would be the case all day, the drowsy Eagles were a step behind the wide-awake Raiders. Oakland was embracing its opportunities. Philadelphia was not. But while the Eagles were not playing their best, behind almost every missed opportunity, there was a hustling Raider. However, Philadelphia's worst wound was self-inflicted, with seconds remaining in the half.
Third down, quick release, goes to the end zone, overthrown, and a little quick time.
Oh, Ron. Perfect call.
Good break for the Raiders, as Parker really got out of the box that time and had McKinney beat.
On fourth down, Eagle fortunes went from bad to worse.
Snap, spot, kick on the way. It is blocked. It's scooped up by Willie Jones. He drops it at the 20. He goes back to pick it up. He's hit. He fumbles again. It's on the bounce. It's on the carpet. It's a wild melee. The Raiders have the football. Holy Toledo.
No player in the history of pro football has blocked more kicks than Oakland's Ted Hendricks, number 83. However, none was more important than this one, for it confirmed that Oakland was winning pro football's world championship in the most convincing fashion possible. Trailing 21-3 with over 13 minutes remaining in the third quarter,
Buck is eating us alive.
the Eagles still believed that the promised land was within reach. The problem was, the only road out of these badlands was through the mountains of the Raider defense. Knowing that Ron Jaworski was being heavily pressured, Oakland secondary laid back in zone coverages designed to take away the long pass. When you're trying to throw over and between the NFL's tallest set of linebackers, there is little margin for error. And on a day when Ron Jaworski needed to be most accurate, he was not. Rod Martin's second interception tied a Super Bowl record and resulted in another Oakland score.
From 46, it's kicked well. And it is good. And Philadelphia is...
Barfield goal concluded the scoring as Oakland ended Philadelphia's dreams of a world championship.
Dick Vermeil must be feeling the sting of frustration right now.
Anyone who ever said, one game cannot tarnish a great season, never lost a Super Bowl.
Good as you play to get here and play like that. Sad going way to finish the season. Give Oakland a lot of credit. They beat our butts. Wasn't a fluke.
This tale was to have a storybook ending for the remarkable Raiders. A new Super Bowl record, achieved by perhaps the least known of all these Cinderella stuff.
Back is Jaworski. Sets up really deep. Now comes up the middle. Picked off. Rod Martin, the third time middle. And Rod Martin once again slams the door in the face of the man they call Jaws. A sort of fitting symbol. Silver and black football is king of the hill in the National Football League. Crescendo of Raider fans beginning to rise.
Oakland's victory created the sort of joyous reaction that comes with seeing something that suggests all things are possible. The Oakland Raiders, for 17 years, pro football's winningest organization, were once again the world champions of professional football.
The Prince came calling. Prince Pete Rozelle. He had a silver...
Key to the Raiders' resurgence was the judge, cornerback Lester Hayes. Hayes, who tied an NFL record in 1980 with 13 interceptions, had 4 more called back because of penalty.
Lester Hayes had a year in 1980 where that was arguably the greatest year a corner has ever had. He just took the game over.
On the field, Hayes' play spoke volumes. Off the field, he struggled with a speech impediment.
Seems like you have fantastic jumping ability.
I was just saying like, I was on my, I was just saying like, like was in like high school, like I was a 5'10" postman, and I was on the state championship team.
His stuttering. Lester approached that problem the same way he did everything else. He attacked it straight on. And he didn't make you feel uncomfortable with it because he knew that you saw that he was struggling through a word or whatever it was. He knew that. But he just stayed with it. And he expected that you would stay with it too.
Hayes worked tirelessly to improve his speech and used stickum to help his hands. Hayes put stickum everywhere and stuck to opposing receivers like glue.
Stickum. Stickum is no longer allowed in the National Football League.
There were so many things that happened that year with his stickum.
If you touched him, you would just stick. That's how he got all those interceptions.
Raider rule number 1, cheating is encouraged. So, was it cheating? What Judge was doing was he was taking a rule and something that was allowed, and he was pushing it as far as it could go.
You knew that if you need stickum during the game, you didn't have to go to the bench. If Lester's on the field, you can just go to him. And I used to tell her, just stay away from me. You could imagine guys in a pile up, and all of a sudden they get out, and they got all of this stickum all over them, and that's the way Lester was. Every stinking play.
We were playing the Houston Oilers, and they had a center by the name of Carl Mock. They're getting ready to kick a field goal. They're in the huddle. Judge comes walking out, takes a big hunk of stickum, walks by the ball, kind of nonchalantly slaps it on the ball, and walks out. The Oilers come up, and Carlos reaches down and grabs the ball right on the stickum. And the veins pop out of his neck. And he's like, "You stuttering son of a bitch, did something to the ball." And he's screaming at the officials, and they're like, hey, come on down, calm down. Well, we came off the ball. Carlos snapped it over his head. He snapped it over his head, and I always wondered how much the stickum had to do with that.
In the wild card playoff game, Oakland sacked former Raider Ken Stabler 7 times and cruised to a 27-7 win.
The end is near, baby. The end is in sight for that.
In the fourth quarter, the judge delivered his final verdict.
One step and only give us the right to play next week. That's all. We got to do something about it. We got to do something about it next week. We got to go to work 1 o'clock tomorrow. That's everybody right. On time. Amen.
You guys should have got assigned to the Atlanta game. It's only 50 degrees down there. Yeah, I'm trying to pick up.
We had to go to Cleveland. And I can recall we have to play this crazy game. I just remember how cold it was.
Cold. It was freezing. And Dave Dalby, our center's out there in a T-shirt. Why, I'll never know.
Listen up now. Hey, listen up. We're going to go regular and kick it right. And make sure with those heated benches over there, if you see anybody asleep, kick them in the ass.
The ground was completely frozen. The showers didn't work.
And that wind was ferocious coming off the lake. There were about between 80 and 90 passes thrown in that game. Very few were completed against the wind.
Ron Bolton's interception return put Cleveland out front. The Raiders stayed with the Browns, and Mark Van Egen's touchdown with 9 minutes left gave Oakland a 2-point lead.
They were known through that whole period of 2-minute offense, the cardiac kids, and here they come again. And they started marching down the field again. And all we could do is stand there.
And the Raiders are in very, very difficult position.
And I'm standing there thinking, we've come this far, we fought this hard, and I can tell you, I never felt so low in my life.
They're going into the open end zone, where the dog pound was. We had already blocked 1 field goal going in there.
And we look at their bench, and we keep thinking they're going to kick, and that's going to be it, and we're going to lose, blah, blah, blah. Well, they go back for one more pass.
Red spotlight, FX Day 88.
I just could not believe it. I don't think anyone on our sideline could believe it.
And I don't blame the play call. I mean, that's, you're taking a chance. Cockcroft already missed 2 extra points. They're afraid he's going to miss the field goal.
The ball on the 13-yard line of the Raiders, but with Cleveland needing only a field goal, the Browns appear to be in the driver's seat.
They came out on the play, and nobody thought they were going to throw.
Logan to the left, Rucker to the right. Seif is going back to pass, wants to take a shot into the end zone. He looks, he throws, and it's a great play that may have been intercepted, and the Cleveland Browns call the chutzpah once too often. Holy Toledo! It was Mike Davis who made the big interception.
Mad Dog didn't catch the ball very well.
Could not catch a cold in Alaska barefooted.
But he made a phenomenal catch.
So you go from as low as you could possibly be, and in one snap of the ball, you go to the height and as high as you could possibly be. Also, I could not believe that Mike Davis actually caught the ball, because I'm telling you, he had absolutely the worst hands in that secondary.
For the AFC Championship game, Oakland went from the Cleveland cold to the San Diego sun.
We knew that going into the conference championship game that we were going to be playing our old rivals. We knew it was going to be at their place, but we were destined.
We thought we outplayed them the first time. We did outplay them the second time, so we approached the game with a lot of confidence.
Against the NFL's highest scoring team, Plunkett went to the air early and led Oakland to a 28-7 first half lead. San Diego responded with 17 unanswered points. Entering the fourth quarter, Oakland was worried.
And they're getting back in the ball game, and Ted Hendricks grabs somebody by the jersey, and she starts shaking me. He says, "Keep scoring. We can't stop them."
All we had to do was hold on to the ball, run out the clock, control it, and we're there.
We were just minutes away from a Super Bowl. And for many of us, this is an opportunity we weren't going to let slip away.
That game, though, in the end, when all was said and done, came down to our offensive line and Mark Van Egen. Burgess Owens and I were standing on the sideline. And he'd say, "How do we do?" I'd say, "We picked up 6. 2 more first downs. 1 more first down, and the game is ours." And he said, "What happened?" And I said, we're going to the Super Bowl. And he was beside himself.
The total resurgence of the silver and black. New Orleans, here come the Raiders.
Oh, it's like any locker room with a big win. Uppy was, he was the philosopher.
Well, this one's a lot sweeter because in '77, I guess everyone kind of expected us to go. This year, no one said we'd go.
Kickham was matter of fact.
Yeah, they got their game rolling. They had the momentum going with them, but we did some changes in there, and we shut them down, and then let our offense take over, and they had a magnificent game.
There's some music on, and guys were dancing, and everybody's feeling pretty darn good about themselves.
I'm proud of you.
New Orleans! New Orleans, here we come! In the shower!
Orleans during Super Bowl week is filled with distractions. For the Oakland Raiders, it was business as usual, even if business as usual for John Matusak meant breaking curfew.
Did John show up late? Yeah, he showed up late. Was he out in the town? Yeah, he was out in the town. He was going to do that regardless. If it was a regular season game, that's what he was going to do.
Now this is a Super Bowl game, and everything's a lot different when it comes to Super Bowl. A lot of things tighten up. You know what I'm talking about? Things tighten up. Gluteus maximus tightens up. You can't even get a blade of grass up there. Some people.
Matusak was referring to Eagles coach Dick Vermeil. Vermeil publicly criticized Matusak's off-field behavior and put strict team rules in effect.
They could not go to Bourbon Street. They couldn't go into the French Quarter. They couldn't do anything. We also heard that there were curfews, and we also heard there were mandatory meetings at night. There was a tremendous amount of pressure on the Raiders because the Eagles were known for how they could not go and do things and have fun. And we felt we had the burden of all the other teams to knock them off that perch, because if they had won, we all would have been doing that.
The first night, as Tom, gave us no curfew, I believe, and let us go out and get it out of our system. But quite a few of the guys that we had large systems, and it took a few days to get it out of their systems.
The first night of curfew, there's no Matusak. He staggers on the bus as we're leaving to go to the press conference, and we asked Tuz, "Where have you been?" He said, "I was out," and he looked like it. And so we asked him, Tuz, after all of this discussion we had in practice, and we all decided it's time to get serious, we got work to do, this is a business trip, and you go out. His response was, "I went out to make sure no one else was out there." That was what he said, and he sat down, and that was that.
Tom Flores tolerated the late nights, as long as the Raiders performed at practice.
Our practices down in New Orleans, they were brutal. They were brutal.
And I happened to be one of the guys that got into a fight with one of the defensive players because I thought he was going a little bit harder than he should be going.
I got into a fight with Mickey Marvin. I tried to kill him. I headbutted him into oblivion. I was letting everything out. It felt so good to be on the field.
By game day, not even world events could shake the Raiders' focus.
We drove to the Superdome, and there was a big yellow ribbon around the Superdome. I'm like, what the heck is that on there for? They said, well, the hostages are free. I'm like, hostages? Oh, that's right. There were some hostages. I was so focused on what was going on. I didn't have a clue what was going on in the world. Some would listen to that and say, well, that's great concentration, and others would listen to that and say, the kid needs a little perspective.
But we were there to play one more football game. And to go to that game and not to be prepared to play would have just been awful for what we had already accomplished. It wouldn't have meant anything.
Super Sunday, what a day. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's like a dream come true. It's unbelievable. Yes, and we're going to win. We are going to win, no question.
It was a great feeling. I was so proud to run out there. It was kind of like a storybook finish, all coming to a head.
In some ways, the Super Bowl was anticlimactic because the best team in football, we thought, were the San Diego Chargers.
We knew the Eagles had beat us. We knew we could beat them. We knew that if they came in the way that they came into that game, we played them in the season, we could beat them.
I was ready once I stepped on that field. I still had something to prove to myself and to whoever else.
Plunkett on a straight drop back. Here comes the rush. Steps up. Can't find anybody yet. Takes off running to the left. Rolls on the move. And it's caught by King at the 40. King takes over the 50. King all the way. Nobody near. To the 20. To the 10. To the 5. Touchdown Raiders.
Bucket's eating us alive.
In just 3 months, Jim Plunkett had gone from Heisman bust to super savior. 3 touchdown passes capped one of the greatest personal comebacks in NFL history.
Plunkett had a masterful game. Rod Martin had a game for the ages. He was everywhere. He was everywhere. He had 3 interceptions. He wasn't Bobby Chandler, but with a little bit of stickum, he could hang on to the thing. That was probably compliments of the judge. He played as good a Super Bowl as any defender has ever played. Did not get the MVP. Jim Plunkett got the MVP. Jim deserved it, but Rod deserved it just as much.
I felt really, really good for Jim because he had paid his dues, just like everyone else. But it meant a lot to him to be the guy that led us through that Super Bowl.
It was a great feeling. Finally accomplished something that everybody who ever gets in the NFL wants to do.
The only suspense that remained was whether the tension between Rozelle and Davis would affect the presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Never will forget him telling us, we beat these guys, we go in that locker room, you be gentlemen, you show respect, and that's the way we will approach this.
I think it's a great credit to you for putting this team together. You've earned it. Congratulations.
Thanks very much, Commissioner. This was our finest hour. This was the finest hour in the history of the Oakland Raiders. To Tom Flores, the coaches, and the great athletes, you were magnificent out there today.
We were the best team. We deserve to be world champions. I'm proud of you.
You know, when you look back at the years of glory of the Oakland Raiders, but this was our finest hour. This was the finest hour in the history of the Oakland Raiders. To Tom Flores, the coaches, and the great athletes, you were magnificent out there today. And take pride and be proud. Your commitment to excellence and your will to win will endure forever. You were magnificent.